Morning again. Please find a nice sitting position in your mat. And just start taking deep inhales and exhales through your nose. The idea today is to do a class that combines a little bit of strength with also some flexibility, but particularly that is relaxing, and it allows us to gain a space. I think space is a big word recently. We have so many things put together. We have been in kind of lockdowns and inside our houses for long. So sometimes you just need to make a space, even if it's within your own house. Start making a space through the breath, creating space from the pelvic bone all the way into your lower back, your sacrum, all the way up in between your shoulders, up into the neck and the back of the head. So notice how can you increase the space? How can you elongate the spine? How can you separate the shoulders? Make sure everything is wide and ample. And use the breath to use it right to those places where you normally are not, just to the right. Keep the eyes closed, but bring both of your hands on either side of your hips. And on the inhale, start to bring the hands together. Inhale up. Really try to make lots of space all the way up into your spine. Exhale, hands down. Inhales up. Grow a little bit taller. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. I'm going to change a little bit with the only two twists, the first of the two twists of this class. This is a very kind of mild twist. Be mindful of your own twist. Inhale, hands up. On the exhale, your right hand is going to go into your left knee and you're going to twist. Use it slightly. And again, as you do this small twist, just think about bringing the space all the way from down into your hip bones, into your sit bones, towards the left shoulder. Really notice your right sit bone and try to imagine a direct line all the way from there to the top of your shoulder, left shoulder. This diagonal line trying to grow and to increase. Exhale, release. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, twist to the other side. So left hand into the right knee, same thing. Really think about growing tall from the sit bones, particularly from the left sit bone, making a straight line all the way into the left one, the left shoulder. And try to increase the space and distance in between your vertebrae. And release. Nice. Last of the stretches. For this one, you can start opening your eyes because sometimes it gives vertigo. So just start to spider your hands a little bit towards the right. So right hand a little bit forward, a little bit to the side. Really ground your left sit bone and inhale diagonal your hands. And as you really push your left hand towards the right side, you really push your left sit bone down into the mat. If you have the space, you can bend the elbow and then go down. But then if this happens, if your sit bone goes up, then stay up. The key thing to really feel the stretch is to really ground your left hip bone, your left sit bone. And use the gravity, kind of the pull from the other hand, to really, again, increase the space all the way towards the left side. Inhale up. Get taller. Notice any difference between both sides. Left maybe is a little bit longer now. So let's go to the left now. So your left fingers go a little bit to the side. Go as far away as you need. Send your hand all the way in a diagonal. Make sure that you're making kind of a strong line, a straight line between your sit bone and your hand. And now focus just on really grounding your right sit bone. Really focusing on the stretch on the left side of your body. If you need more, you can bend the elbow. Nice. Really keep grounding the right hip. Beautiful. And inhale up. Once again, close the eyes, notice any difference. Maybe you feel more balance. Maybe you got a little bit of an imbalance and just notice and try to remember for the end of the classes we'll do this again. Right. So my mission today is to try to do a class only on my hands and knees, or as much as I can on the hands and knees. So I have something copied and I think I've tested, but it's going to be kind of a lot coming from what I thought about yesterday and today. So let's start into our hands and knees. And we'll do as last week. So last week I was explaining something that I discovered in a recent class that was talking about the spine. And it's about kind of how do you do a proper cat and cow. So the first thing about the cat and cow is that you have to keep the shoulder blades separated. So neutral spine means that your belly button is really coming up. So you're slightly on a protracted spine. So let's everyone come into protracted spine. Really feel like the belly button is pushing towards the back of your spine. So you can try to make a straight line with your back. It's not kind of here when you have the curve. Your kind of abs have to be really engaged into an untitled calf. So keep the shoulder blades separated as much as they can, and then slowly start to bring the belly button down, the hips up, and only when you feel the hips kind of go any higher up, your head goes up. Then focus on showing the chest to the front. Stay here. Really focus on separating the shoulder blades. And exhale, start going to the other side. So belly button is really going to push towards the ceiling. Bring your chin into your chest. Really push. And then once again, really think about separating the shoulder blades. Now we're going to try to get balance, equanimity. So we're going to try to keep the separation in the shoulder blades the same distance all the time. So slowly, and you start to bring the belly button down, then really moving the hips up. You concentrate strongly on keeping the shoulder blades as separated as they were before in that protracted spine. Maybe that allows you to go into a little bit of a further space. Exhale, cat. Keep the shoulder blades separated, but the belly button goes up. Now close the eye and start to notice how each vertebra goes into different ways as you move. Start going into your cow. Really focus on the shoulder blades first. Now hips, lower back. Focus on your thoracic spine, trying to create space so your chest goes forward. Now as you move into your cat, then again do the same. Really slowly. We're going into our cats and cats. We're making them really kind of having a sense. We're trying to make the cat and cow really active. Really feeling how the hips go up. Now feel how the hips separate as you're in your cow. Try to open space as much as you have in your shoulder blades, now into the hips. Try to separate both of the sit bones, hips going outward. Now exhale. The sit bones are going to go slightly inward, at least kind of the front of the hips. Then you separate the hips on the back and you keep the shoulder blades separated. We're going to do one more. So just close your eyes and really try to focus on the space. The space between the shoulder blades, the space between your hips, the space created in between your vertebrae, the space into your chest. Exhale. Last cut. Same thing. Focusing on space. And release. Neutral position. Beautiful. Now we're going to go into the hips and create the same kind of feeling of space there. So into your hands and knees, we're going to do a little bit of the same that we did last week. So the same combo that we did last week. So if you have a narrow space like I do, just bend your mat and then make sure you have sufficient space at the back of your mat to kind of slide your feet side to side. Then move to one side and then move to the other. For example, I have like a wall here. So I'm going to move a little bit to the side so I have enough space. Now, get your right leg extended. Then we are going to start to prepare here. Okay, ready? Slowly lift your leg with purpose as high as you can. We're going to start making a space into the front of the hips. And just stay there. This kind of reminds me a little bit about Storm's class on ballet bar. Try to bring it a little bit higher up, a little bit higher up, a little bit higher up until you feel the burn. So hands and knees doesn't really mean no engagement. It can have a lot of engagement. Stay there. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Slowly. Bring the foot down, almost touch. Inhale up. Try to go as high as you can. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Last one, down, then up. Stay up and start to bring your leg towards the side. Now try to make it all the way kind of in line with the shoulders, or maybe a little bit forward. Okay, and feel how this decreases the space in your right side, but increases it on the left side. We're going to make big circles with the hip, all the way to the other side, increasing the space on the right side decreasing the space on the left side. Then big circle to the front. Big circle to the back. Big circle to the front. Big circle to the back. Big circle to the front. Big circle to the back. Big circle to the front. One last big circle to the back. We're going to now make it flying if you can. Big circle to the front and fly. Big circle to the back and fly. Big circle to the front and flies. Big circle to the back and keep flying. Last 3. Last 2. And last 1. Return once more the leg to the side, but stay in line with your feet. Your knees kind of in the same line as your feet, and then you stand up for gate position. Then I'll show you how it looks this way. Beautiful. So inhale, you start to bring your left hand up, make a space, and kind of same logic as when we did kind of a stretch and we were sitting. Start by creating a space from the knee all the way into the hip. Now from the hip all the way into your serratus, here underneath kind of these small muscles that kind of start to hug into your chest. And from here all the way into the arm. Just slightly touch the leg. Don't place the hand, just touch it. Slightly touch it. Then see how far you can go. And same thing as before, kind of really try to ground your opposite hip to create a bigger distance, to create more space. Feel the space, feel the elongation. Both hands now fly if you can. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, gate. Now other side. We're going to release our left hand down. You can bring it all the way down, or if it feels better, you come into the tip of your fingers. Then straight line. Then same thing. You're going to start to really think about kind of placing the outside of your right foot down into the mat and extending on the other side. Creating spaces on the right side of your body. And I love this one because normally, I don't know if you can hear, for some reason, this pose always makes my back crack. Now really focus on bringing your right hip, up into the sky. Mentally, even if it's just mentally, it just creeps you a little bit more of a stretch. Slowly release and stand up. Hands into either side. We're going to use this pose to create some flexibility and strength into our arms. So stay here. Now, once again, separate the shoulder blades and then feel how these bring the ribs together. And stay here. Hold, ribs together. So you can use the camera to see how the ribs come together. Then feel how the shoulder blades separate. Hold for 3, for 2, 1. Circles to the front. Last 2. Hold. Crease the space. Ribs in. Circles to the back. Keep the ribs in. Keep the shoulder blades separated. Maybe your shoulder blades are starting to be like, oh. Your deltoids are going to be like, ooh. Last 2. Last 1. Reach, 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 reach. Slowly release and go to the front. Once again, fly your feet, move it to the back, and stay here, just in line with your body. We're now going to fly the opposite hand. So your left hand is going to fly forward, and then we're just going to find balance. We're going to use this for a little bit of a core. Or you can have a twist, or you can just have a meeting point. And if you're pregnant, then the only thing you're going to do is like slowly reach to the center, then feel this position I use it quite a lot to really get my spine some kind of a space. You're going to either try to twist deeply, bring knee against elbow, or just come as much as you can, and then stay here. We're not going to make it fast. It's more about holding the space and really using the pelvic bone to hold you up. Hold here for 3, for 2, and 1. Extend. Now we're going to go to the sides. So you're going to try to bring your knee towards your elbow, and then your elbow towards kind of your hip bone. Hold. 3, 2, 1, and extend. Now once again into the center, as much as you can, as twisted as you need. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Your right shoulder might be getting a little bit tired. Last one. To the side. 3, 2, 1. Extend and release. Nice. Find your child's pose. Just think about how much release you got through any of these poses. Once again, think about the shoulder blades, separate the shoulder blades. Find even the resting positions as an active resting, a place to find a space. Last breath here. Inhale up. We're going to go into the left side. So I'm just going to turn. You can see me. I'm going to do the same with the mat. Also, if you are a little bit knee sensitive, if you kind of double up your mat, you can come here, then make it a little bit more cushier. Okay, so come into your hands and knees once again. Now, your left leg is going to go to the side. Yeah, we're going to start here. So slowly try to come as forward as you can, or as to the back as you need. And slowly from here, we're going to start to go all the way to the other side. Then I found some obstacles in my way, and to the front, and then to the back, and then to the front. And I forgot one pose, I know now, and to the back, and to the front. Don't worry, I'll do it. To the back, and to the front. Really focusing on creating a space to the opposite side as you bring your feet to the other side. Last 2. Last 1. We're gonna fly it and then do the pose that I forgot. So to the back, and to the front, and to the back, and to the front, and to the back, and to the front. Fly it. 3 more. Fly it. To the back, to the front. Last one. To the back, and to the front. Keep it flying. Extend the leg and really try to go high up. Really focus on stretching your psoas, your hip, your front hip, especially the left one now. Try to go a little bit higher, higher. Remember storm splash. Stay here, then go down, then up, and then down, then up, then down, then up, then down, up, and down, and up. Last one. Down and up. Release. Bring your leg to the side, this time in line with your knee, preparing for gates pose. So lift into your gate pose. Same thing. We're going to first move towards the stretch leg. And focusing on finding a space into your right side instead of collapsing into the left. So first thing between the knee and your hip. Increase the space, increase the space, increase the space. Now bring the space from the hip all the way to kind of underneath your shoulder, your armpit. And then from there, your arm. And then you can close the eyes here and really feel the stretch. Really concentrate on finding the space. Focus now onto your right sit bone. Right, try to think that the sit bone is trying to ground into the mat. And from that grounding, maybe you find a little bit more space on the side. Beautiful, stay here. Stay, maybe both arms fly. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Lift, now to the other side. Hand down. Straight line between your foot and your hand. And really focus on creating kind of space into the inside of your foot. And then from that space, really focusing on bringing the hip up, 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 up. And again, creating really nice space, this time in your left side. Hold for 3, for 2, and 1, and lift. Stay with your hands up. Same thing, we're gonna find a space in your arms. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Rolls to the front. Really focus on bringing the ribs in. Stretch and reach, reach, reach. Maybe use it to bring your hips into the same line. Ribs in, ribs in, ribs in, to the back. 3, 2, and 1. Reach, 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 reach. The arms are a little bit shaky. And release. Maybe change your arms. And go to the foot. Right, keep the legs straight, then bring it all the way to the back. Last part of the exercise. So we're gonna extend now, fly now, the opposite hand, right hand in this case. You have 3 options. Use big twist, use meeting the knees, or just coming in. What I want more from kind of the deep kind of twist or any of the other positions is for you to really find the space in which the sacrum is really trying to go up into the sky. So it doesn't matter how really deep you go, it's more about creating a protracted spine so you can create a space in your spine. Extend, then come in. Extend, then come in. Extend, then come in. Extend, come in. Last one, extend, come in and hold. Hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extend. Now to the side. Your left shoulder, your left knee into your left shoulder, and then your elbow into the side. And then extend. Then side. And then extend. And then side. And then extend, then side, and then extend. Last one, side, and extend. Hold it, and release. One more time, child's pose. Maybe separate your knees a little bit here, so you can go deeper. We're going to finish with some hips and with some spine. And so far you can see you can be on your hands and knees mostly and do a lot. come up into hands and knees. We're going to do the second sequence, which is a little bit shorter, but it really focuses on the hips. You can stay with your double lap mat if you need for the knees, or release it. Find a nice space. Make sure you have a space between your shoulder blades. Now we're going to start to lift your right knee. Just lift it up from the air. And then notice where that lift is coming from the hip. So you ideally want to bring your femur into the hip socket, but keep the hips in line. From this fly position, bring it to the side and then down. Bring it to the side. Really focus on the movement of the hip. Bring it to the side and down, not the feet. The feet is not lifting up. It's the knee and the hip. Lift it up and then down. Lift it up and then down. Last one. Lift it up and hold. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to make circles towards the inside. So you're going to go back, side, down, back, side, down, back, side, down, back, side, down. Try to make them a little bit ample. So back, side, front, down, back, side, front, down, back, side, front, down, back, side, front, down. Last one. Back, side, front, down, back. Stay here. Hold. 3. You can make small lifts for your buttocks. 2. 1. Side. Stay. Hold. 3. Buttocks again working. 2. 1. Bring it to the front. Working into the core, the abs. 3, 2, 1. And release. Shake it. Shake it. This morning I woke up with like Taylor Swift, so I'm very much into the shaking in. Now, left knee is going to lift. Same thing. Think about where is the lift happening. And really think about bringing the femur into the hip socket. Hold here. Beautiful. We're going to start lifting to the side, but more thinking about the rotation into the hip, the rotation into your knee or your feet, and then down. Lift, and then down. Then lift, then down. I know they are small, be tired. Lift, then down. And then lift, then down. Last one. Lift, then down. Lift, and down. Lift and hold. We're going to make circles. We're going to go inside. Knee to the center. Back. Side. Down. 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 We're going to make them more ample. Back. Side. Front. Down. Back. Side. Front. Down. Back. Side. Front. Down. Last one. Back. Side. Front. Down. We're going to hold. Stay back. Then maybe small lifts for your buttocks. Maybe your opposite buttocks is really burning. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Side. Hold. You can make lifts also here. 3, 2, 1. To the front. Holding to the abs. The core really gets more. 3, 2, 1. And release. We're going to release differently here. So you start to walk your hands forward. And we're going to go into puppy pose. So find your puppy pose. Puppy pose, what you can do in this pose if you are pregnant is just try to go as down as possible, but focus on bringing the shoulders separated and your chest as down as you can. If you want to make it a bit restorative, a towel or kind of anything that is like nice and cushy, even a cushion, a big cushion will help you. Is you're going to start moving forward and try to put your chest or your chin into the blanket. And then again, find a space particularly between the shoulder blades. But really try to separate. So one of the things that normally happens, and I didn't notice when I was doing puppy pose, is that I was trying to bring all the strength from the shoulders. So it was like collapsing the two shoulder blades together. Here, try to do the opposite, the same thing as we did when we were doing the cat and calf. You're trying to really separate the shoulder blades. So maybe go up a little bit, separate the shoulder blades, keep the protracted spine initially, keep the shoulder blades separated, keep the shoulder separated, shoulder blades separated. Then here, then you start to bring a little bit of a kind of, not collapse, but a little bit of a circle, a half circle into your thoracic spine, your lower back. You can go as deep or as high as possible. If this is not working for you, you can find some blocks and place them into the front. Put the hand or the elbows down, and then same. Then go lower. Just give you a little bit more space. I'm going to stay here for about 3 minutes, 3-4 minutes. This is going to be our restorative pose. If also you don't have a block, but you need a space, find a wall. And same thing, you can either place the hands up, then just focusing on opening the shoulders, bringing the chest towards the wall, or the elbows down, then looking up. Lots of options here. So find the one that works for you. And as I said, we're going to say 3 minutes. I'm going to get my clock here so we don't go more than we need to. And as you stay in the pose, you're trying to use the breath to go a little bit deeper. Maybe every 5 breaths. Feel the release in the space that puppy pose creates. Once again, as we did at the beginning of the class, focus on the separation between your shoulder blades. Start to make your inhales and exhales a little bit longer. A little bit longer with the inhales and exhales. About a minute to go. A little bit longer. Last 20 seconds. And slowly start to lift. Really careful, be really careful here, especially because we stay for a lot. Place first your forehead down, and from here, start to walk your hands a little bit closer, keep the forehead down, and just walk your body all the way into child's pose. Going into forward bend. Allowing the spine to take a minute to go back into normal position. You can start walking your hands slowly towards the back, releasing your shoulders as well. You can slightly bring the chin towards your chest and notice any new space into the neck. Slowly use your hands to lift yourself up. Cross the legs behind you. Moving again into sitting position. We're going to extend the legs and finish with a Dandasana before we go into a corpse pose, into Shavasana. So bring your feet together. Last time of effort. Bring your hands on either side, but don't really push. Just use them as kind of a focus of direction, or as an instrument of direction more than a strength. Then engage the legs and try to lift the heels. Holding here. For 5. For 4. For 3. For 1. Release the heels down. Open your feet as wide as the mat. Bring the hands on either side of your legs and really slowly start to move down. So be really mindful and once again, purposeful into how you go down. Try to go down vertebra by vertebra. And before you stay quiet into your Shavasana, you find a space within your Shavasana. Maybe find more space between your shoulder blades that sometimes kind of collapse together in your Shavasana. Separate them. If you separate them, sometimes you find that your sacrum can finally rest into the ground. If you feel that you need more space into your lower back, you can slightly bend the knees and place a towel or a cushion underneath just to give you additional space. Focusing now into the hips once again. Find a space. Find how the hips, kind of the front of the hips are opening at the same time that you can keep a certain openness onto the back. So the glutes don't collapse towards each other. They're open. Find the length into your legs. Point the toes for a little bit of a while. Then release any tension. You need to think about something while you're in Shavasana. You can think about a space. So try to analyze your body to check where have you got additional space today. Where you felt restricted at the beginning of the class, that maybe you're not restricted anymore. You can stay here for longer if you need to. Otherwise, start to move your toes and your fingers. Bring movement into your shoulder blades, into your shoulders, into your hips, moving the feet side to side. Bend the knees. Come into organic rest position with your knees slightly inward and feet apart. If you need a twist here before you rise, you can take it. Otherwise, slowly start to move towards the left or the right, whatever side that you feel is your side today. And using your hands, slowly keeping the eyes closed, start to lift, going back into the original position as we were in the beginning of the class. Find a place where both your sit bones are strongly grounded into the mat. And once again, do this mental check of space. Find groundness into your sit bones. Openness into the hip, or the hip area, both between the meeting point, the joint between your femur and the hip socket. And also in your upper hip, in between your hip bones here and there. Find space. Find a space into your lower back. Use the ribs engagement to really go straight. And once again, find a space between your vertebrae. Keep the shoulder blades separated. And as they separate and then they help you with engagement into the core, then maybe you can feel that you have more space to breathe. Bring the chin slightly towards the chest. Release the shoulders into either side to keep the neck long. And energetically, find a straight single line all the way from your seat bone, from your pelvic bone, all the way up into the top of the head. From your Mula Bandha, your Uddiyana Bandha, your Jalandhar, all the way up. It's like this curling position, this midpoint that really grows through. Try to keep this sensation with you during the day or in the night if it's not for you. Slowly bring your hands together in front of the chest into a prayer position. Deep breath in, trying to get into all the space that you got during the class. Thank yourself for giving yourself this time. And slowly release down into the mat. Namaste. Thank you.